Hello, everyone. So it's 1 o'clock on the dot right now. I'm going to try to give everybody about 5 or so minutes to finish signing on, and then we're just going to get going. Hello, everyone. If you just signed on, I'm giving everybody another 3 more minutes and we'll get started. All right, guys, good afternoon, and welcome to our webinar about the Autodesk transition to named users. In respect of everyone's time, I'm going to get going. If a friend of yours has shown up late or you need to recap and rewatch this webinar, don't forget we have a YouTube channel that hosts all of our past and present webinars, as well as some handy how-to guides. So visit youtube.com, search for MicroCAD Training and Consulting, and in the search bar, you will be able to subscribe to our channel. My name is Sheila Salvucci, and I am the Help Desk Manager and Application Specialist at MicroCAD Training and Consulting. My home MicroCAD office is our Boston office. My background is architecture, sustainable design, and security systems design and engineering. I lead a team of experienced technical staff that takes care of your Autodesk product questions in nearly record timing. Revit, AutoCAD, installations, and activations are my personal forte. Our other team members have their own specialties that they bring to our talent as well. Speaking of talent, I also have Ashley Wheeling with me today, who would love to say hello to you as well. She's all yours, Ashley.
Thank you, Sheila. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Ashley Wheeling. I'm a customer success manager here at MicroCAD, and my goal is to ensure that our clients have all the resources that they need to be successful with the investment that they've made in MicroCAD and Autodesk applications. If you have any questions, going forward regarding the content that we're covering today, or if there's anything at all that we could be doing to better support your firm, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. We appreciate your business, and I hope you enjoy today's presentation.
Thank you, Ashley. You'll be chatting with her again at the end of this presentation during our Q&A session. Please feel free to type your questions within the comment section of this webinar, and we will do our best to see that it gets answered during this time. You may also decide to reach out to us after this webinar, and that's perfectly fine too. Please see our contact information on this slide. Okay, today I will specifically going over transitioning to named users and the steps you have to take. However, first I must go over the groups of people that this directly affects. If you are moving from multi-user license to single user license, moving from maintenance to subscription, or if you have legacy software you are turning into subscription, grab your popcorn, a snack, and your afternoon coffee because this one is for you. I will be briefly going over these aforementioned categories to make sure you fall under one of these. And I will also go into pretty good detail on how to do the transition itself from the administrative level. I will then switch gears and talk about the premium plan and how we at MicroCAD Help Desk team can assist you with not just changes with your product licensing, but with your productivity, workflow, and peace of mind. This presentation is geared towards administrators, IT professionals, and decision makers, and will not touch on, it will touch on the technical side more than the sales or marketing, as you might be used to. Okay, so category one. If you fall into this category, this is you. This is a multi-user, also known as a network license to single user license. All right, let's just get this Band-Aid right off first. There are absolutely no more network licenses. I know. If you currently have a network license right now and your renewal isn't coming up for, say, like 6 months, it's not going away today. It will only go away at your next renewal. Your only option now moving forward is to subscribe to a single user, also known as a standalone license. With that, Autodesk recognizes that this might not be everyone's favorite news to hear. So they're doing a few things. They are allowing you to have an extra 30 days to make this transition. We can work with you to find out the exact cutoff date by looking at your network license file. It's not a huge deal at all. Plus, they have come out with what is being referred to as the 2-for-1 deal. So if your company falls into this category of having a network license and this directly affects you, know that when you do renew, you do get 2 licenses for every 1 you renew. So if traditionally you've had 10 network licenses, that would be turned into 20 single user licenses. And you would only pay the cost of the 10 licenses, not the 20 for this renewal. I know what you may be thinking, and while this promo deal is cool and all, I know I'm talking to a bunch of technical-minded people representing your company. So I understand the panic you might be feeling, but really, please bear with me. This actually isn't that bad. The benefits of having a single user license over a network licenses are it's easy to travel with. No more checking out a license from your office and wondering if it will work on the on-site trailer or even from your home office where you'll be working from for the day. Or who knows, indefinitely. It all works different nowadays. Single user licenses are their own license, meaning if one person is down, the whole entire team does not go down. That also means no more hunting down your IT person to diagnose licensing trouble on your server. You do not need a constant network connection or internet connection to work. You do, however, need to connect your computer to internet once every 30 days so Autodesk can ping your computer to make sure that the license is still properly your computer is properly licensed. Onboarding and offboarding, it's a breeze. Just add or subtract new hires, past employees, or delete past employees from your account. Changes are immediate. You do not need to ask anyone to close out of their software because you need to hop on and use a program. One good thing about this, not that all the other ones aren't great, but no more wondering if Sally is actually using AutoCAD. There is a reporting feature that the Autodesk administrator has to see this information. It's fairly basic, and if you needed something more in depth, there is other programs that we'll be talking about later on in this presentation. And one thing I do want to add, as long as you have a subscription, so a network license subscription, which is non-maintenance, and you're moving to a single user license, you do not need to download any new software. However, if you have a maintenance agreement and you have a design suite and you're moving to a industry collection, you will unfortunately need to re-download software. But because Autodesk understands that this is not everybody's favorite, again, that you do have 30 days extra beyond your expiration date of the current subscription maintenance agreement, and we're here to help you as well. So it's not a huge deal. Okay, categories 2 and 3. I paired these two together because there's a lot of similarities here. Moving to subscription and turning in your perpetual license. So if you're still using a design suite, and during your renewal, you will be migrated over into an industry collection, just like how I mentioned. It's really all the same software as your design suite, so you do not need to worry there if a piece of software is missing. If anything, there's a couple of added features to that you will love even better. If you have a maintenance agreement or individual license without a contract attached to it, so for AutoCAD plus specialty, such as AutoCAD architecture, you'll be upgraded to AutoCAD plus specialized tool sets. And that includes all of the AutoCAD specialties when you move to the AutoCAD plus specialized tool sets. One thing I do need to announce is if you're moving from a design suite to industry collection, like I had mentioned before, you will need to remove all of your Autodesk software from your computer and download new software because it's a different grouping of software and the licensing behavior is slightly different. However, individual products moving from maintenance agreement to a subscription will not need to uninstall or reinstall software. They can continue to use the same software as they were before. And it's just no way around it. But there are benefits to this as well if you do fall into category 2 or 3. Okay. So I know I'm talking to a lot of technical minded people here, but I promise not to get into the sales end of it. But just so you're aware, there is an offer going on until October 23rd. If you have a qualifying product, we can help save you an additional 20 to 25% off the suggested retail price. When you move to subscription, you will notice some changes. Serial number and product keys, for one, are the thing of the past, which is honestly a relief for many. I know many of you on this attendee list I'm looking at are probably relieved. Autodesk has Autodesk has updated their systems within the last year or two to keep up with the tech industry of the world and move to activating by user login. The benefit to this feature is the easy onboarding and offboarding of a user, No more wondering if Bob down the hall that had just quit has your serial numbers. Remove Bob from your list of end users, and just like that, he's no longer holding on to one of your licenses. This also comes with some basic reporting features, just like category 1 um, within the Autodesk account to see how often a user is using his or her software. And it will help you actually remain compliant with the inability to accidentally overinstall and overactivate your software. So overall, I promise you, once you transfer to named user, this will be so much easier to manage. I do this every day, all day. So much easier, I promise you, for everybody. All right, next slide here. Okay, so now that I went over all the good stuff, let's go over the how. So let's be real here. The year 2020 has had so many challenges. I don't need to list them out to you. I went ahead and put together a guide for you all to make this transition the easiest thing the year 2020 could bring you. And I don't know about you guys, that means something to me personally, being a new first-time mom during a pandemic. Anyone got a how-to guide for that? Man, that's some tough stuff, I'm telling you. Take a look on the webinar panel, and you will notice a handout section in this handy-dandy document, and it's yours to download. While this document really takes a deep dive on how to execute the transition to named users, let me go over it very, very simply with some screen captures so we can get a good understanding how easy this process actually is. It is as easy as 4 steps, to be exact. As you can see, step 1, add users. Step 2, pair a user to a product. 3, relicense your end user software. And number 4, uninstall the network license manager, which is LM Tools, if you guys have that. So if you're not a network license user, you could skip over number 4 at all, and it's easy as 1, 2, 3 for you. And that's it. See, simple. Bonus feature in this how-to guide, I did include some shortcuts for some bulk adding to your users and account into your Autodesk account and managing the users that way. Further, there is a tool that you can download that will help you switch your license from pinging the network domain server to utilizing the sign-on feature if you have a network license. Or if you're switching from a serial number and product key to a named user, you can use this tool as well. More details in that guide, and I will go over it in a summary form during this presentation as well. Okay, so let's get in it. Step 1 and 2, add user and grant rights to use a product. So so for those of you who have legacy products or non-network licenses, you will likely see a line item that says Classic User Management under the User Management side. This is going to go away after your 30-day transition period ends. I just wanted to point it out and recognize it so you can more or less ignore it if it's there. It's going to just disappear one day when you log in next. Once your renewal has been established, you as a contract manager or software coordinator will see 2 line items added under the user management dropdown, by user and by product. This is part of the new view. You will utilize these 2 items here to choose how you want to manage your users. Either one still gets the job done. By user is good for those who want to really take a deep dive and see which product is assigned to which user, whereas by product is good for those who want to see which product has been given to a list of users. They are very similar. I will go over both today so you can determine which method is best for you. Either method you choose, you will need to know the following in advance. First name, last name, email address of each user. It's very simple. It's important that you have the correct spelling, though, for all 3 of these, as the information that you'll be activating this will be the information that your end users will be using to activate the product. If your user tries to sign in with a different email address, like if your domain email changed and the end user is still using a different domain and you're entering a different email address in the Autodesk account, the user will not be able to activate his or her product. It has to align with whatever you've listed under the Autodesk account. Okay, so first method I will be going over is utilizing the by users method. So when you're in your manage.autodesk.com account, um, you would go ahead and you click under the user management, and you click by user. At the top of the screen, on the right side, you will see a button that says invite users. Click here. That's that's all of step one for this part. Uh, and then a small window will pop up. Here you will see three options to add a user. You can add them all individually, add several at a time, or if you happen to have an Excel CSV file with first name, last name, email address, you can certainly bulk add all of your users at once. Once you've listed all of your users you need, you'll be brought back to the original user management user window you were on previously. The difference here is you will see all of the line items for each user that you just added for your users. Just so you know, in the example, I blocked out the line items for privacy reasons, but you will see first name, last name, email address where all of the black spots are. When you are ready, you can then click on one of these items to pair a particular user with a product. So here's how. All right, so once you click on a user you'd like to manage, you will see two sections below the username information, assigned and unassigned. If a user had just been added, there will likely be no products under assigned, just like the example I provided here. You will see a list of products that you've subscribed to under not assigned within the line item that starts with the amount of licenses you have, and it works its way downwards. So two of my products have 0 left because I've already assigned them to other users. You will see that I have AutoCAD LT seats left to assign. So I will go ahead for this example and click assign to give this user a seat of AutoCAD LT. Once you've completed those steps, it's critical to let your named user know that you just granted them access to use a product. They will receive an email almost instantaneously asking the user to verify their email address. They must click the button verify email and follow further instructions to create a password if they have not signed in with the email previously within other Autodesk products. If this email has already been listed elsewhere or signed up elsewhere, such as A360, BIM 360, or another cloud product, the end user will be notified they've been given rights to use more products, but they will not need to create a new password as they've already done that in the past to access other products they've been previously entitled to use. Okay, so that is one of the options for step 1 and 2. So the other option is the by user method. And it'll be up to you, like I said, to choose one over the other, whatever you prefer. Okay, so for this method, be sure to click on By Product under User Management. Here, all of your products will appear that you subscribe to. In special instances, teams are created to help organize groups of products better. I will not be going over that today, but be sure to recognize this, and you can switch your teams to see the rest of your products if some appear to be missing from your list. In any case, for this particular team, you will see the 3 subscription products listed. Again, you will be able to see what's available and what is not based on what has already been assigned. For the first line item, you'll see 0 out of 1 available. That means 1 user is already assigned, and so on. So here is where I'll show you again how to manage users under the AutoCAD LT product. I'm going to click the line item for AutoCAD LT. A window will appear, and if there are any users that have been assigned to this product, you will then see them appear as a line item under Assign Users. To assign a user, click the blue button that says Assign Users. A window will appear similarly to the by user, and it will this will give you the ability to assign users individually, multiple, or by CSV like previously mentioned in the other option. Click the blue button to assign users to this product. This may look familiar as well. You will need to notify your users yet again, that they will receive an email notification from Autodesk to finish up setting up their password credentials. Again, this process will be followed before you can activate your software. If a user already has their email address activated for a different reason, such as BIM 360 or other cloud products, that user will continue to use the same credentials as previous, as long as it aligns with what was just added into the Autodesk account. So both are very, very similar. So it's up to you which you want to use. So moving on to step 3. So that took care of step 1 and 2. Step 3, configure your named user license. So there are 2 options here as well. Autodesk loves giving options. You can update the licensing on an administrative level, or users can simply update their device themselves. Either way, it's super simple. The first I will go over is the administrative option. There is a program that you can install install and run that utilizes the command prompt to switch over your licenses with a few simple commands. These commands, as well as a link to download the software I'm speaking of, is within the handout of this webinar. So definitely download that handout that I have here. Okay, the other option is to have the user update the device on their own. So it's easy as simply opening up the software. In the upper right-hand corner of the screen next to the sign in or the username if they're already signed in, click the down arrow. Click Manage Licenses, click Manage License Type. Here is the user will get a Get Started screen. The user will then select a single user option, and it will give the user option to sign in with your Autodesk credentials. Step 4. Okay, well, as I announced before, if you are not a network license user, you're done. Your user can continue to use their products, and happy drafting to them. But if you're a network license manager user, there's one more small step to take. Not a big deal either. So let's get going on that. Okay, so find wherever your LM Tools is hosted. This is typically on a main server somewhere. Your IT person or whoever manages your Autodesk software is most likely the person to know where this is. So you would open up LM Tools, click the Start, Stop, Reread tab at the top, then click the Stop Server button. This step here completely disabled your network licenses, so any computers you did not move to named users, they are still pinging LM Tools. So they're going to be looking for a license that has been stopped from LM Tools. So that's why it's important to do this at the end. So you can gradually just, take care of your, one user at a time if you wish, and that sort of thing. So, after you stop the server, from there you can go through the normal method through the control panel to remove the LM Tools from your server. When you do go through the control panel, if you don't already know this, for whatever reason, it's listed as Autodesk Licensing Manager. It's not listed as LM Tools, even though it clearly says LM Tools by Flexera at the top. So just be mindful of that. Okay, so here's another Band-Aid I need to rip off. Previous version rights. Customers with an active subscription of software are eligible to download and use previous releases of software. For the general majority of Autodesk software, this includes current release and up to 3 previous versions. So, for example, an AutoCAD subscriber can use 2021, 2020, 2019, and 2018 AutoCAD, all as a part of their subscription. You don't have to pay more to use any of that. You can have all 4 of them downloaded. You can have 1 downloaded. Totally up to you guys, whatever you want. However, here's the big however. Customers cannot use anything less than 2018, as Autodesk will no longer be granting special permissions moving forward. For more information, check out the previous version rights on the Autodesk Knowledge Network, and here's where you will find a chart to see which products are eligible. You can also continue the conversation with us after this webinar. All right, so the reason why I'm going over this new Autodesk Premium Plan is because there's a lot of valuable things with this right now. And as you all know, we have our own tech support, and we will be going over that after this Autodesk Premium Plan. But I wanted to make sure I shared this valuable information with all of you. This is brand new to Autodesk. This premium plan is their tech support. It's straight from Autodesk. It does not include, this is completely separate from MicroCAD tech support. And it's 24/7 support, which is live support that is available anytime, including nights and weekends for questions or help with technical issues. It includes enhanced product usage reporting. So I did talk about a basic usage reporting. This is a little bit more. This gives you a little bit more pizzazz to your product usage reporting if that's important to you. This will allow you to view and export more detailed usage to provide insight into usage trends and to identify power users. Single sign-on, which honestly, this is my favorite part to it. This is what makes me excited about this premium plan personally. So it's also called SSO. It provides added security with one-time login for all Autodesk products. This is something that I'll definitely be covering in just a second. And the last piece of this is centralized purchasing. So this allows parent companies to buy subscriptions for centrally for subsidiaries, regardless of the subsidiary's location. So in the past, like if you have your headquarters out in, I don't know, Europe somewhere, and you're in a Boston office, there used to be a lot of hoops and loops you kind of had to go through because you had to buy for your location. That has been lifted with this premium plan. So with this premium plan, this really is geared towards 50 plus 50 plus subscribers. So if you have 50 AEC collections or whatever the case is, which many of you have, this premium plan is something you can enroll. What was just announced a week or two ago, since this is actually really kicking off very well with all of Autodesk customers worldwide, is the fact that they're lowering the requirements. So there's chances with if you have 35 or more seats, they can accept you into this premium plan. So for pricing and further details, definitely get in touch with your sales rep, and we can tell you more about it. And Ashley or I could actually even tell you more about it as well. So whatever works for you guys. So the thing that I was personally excited about with this was the single sign-on, SSO. To me, like I said, this is what makes the premium plan with Autodesk directly worth the investment. So you guys just sat through my webinar going over on the how to do all of this named user stuff. And while you could certainly execute this transition with the information I gave you and use us as support to back you, this could be a better solution for you if you have a ton of seats. So this is what it does. It enables customers to connect their identity provider, which is the IDP, with the Autodesk authentication platform. Once connected, an end user can log into all of their Autodesk properties, including using their company-provided network username and password instead of using their Autodesk ID. So essentially, it's the same username and password when you crack open your laptop. When you first walk into the office, it's the same domain password, username and password, same thing. So when SSO is enabled, customers only need to memorize one password to access the network resources as well as Autodesk services. There is increased security and compliance. When a person's credentials are revoked, they automatically lose access to Autodesk services. The product supported for SSO is 2018 and later, which aligns with the previous version rights I was talking about for subscription software. The Autodesk SSO uses the security assertion markup language, which is also known as SAML, the 2.0 protocol, and has currently tested and supported the following IDPs: Active Directory, Microsoft Azure, Okta, OneLogin, Ping1, Ping Federate, and others are being currently tested, and this list will be expanded on at a later time. So if you have another one of those, we could certainly ask Autodesk if that's one of the things that they're testing out, and we can, help you streamline all of this and have them speed this up a little faster. So we can work with you on that. Um, so that is single sign-on SSO. I hope you found that valuable as I did. I was kind of excited when they came out with that. So like I said, we've got our own tech support. I know a lot of you have taken advantage of that, so we thank you for that. Um, we have a technical team. We have a team of technical staff that has expert level experience as well as real hands-on industry experience using the entire portfolio of Autodesk software. So it doesn't matter what your team is using, we can help everybody. Um, our clients receive unlimited phone, web, and remote access assistance with up to 4-hour response time. But we often respond to things within the first hour. Industry standard is 24 to 48 hours response time. That actually includes Autodesk, even if it's the premium support. That's normal. We do have a great system in place at MicroCAD with our ticketing system, so there's a level of transparency between all departments within MicroCAD. Our communication is awesome here for tech support. So in event our help desk needs to reach out to ordering or your sales rep, this streamlines our communication so it quickly and effectively gets the job done fast, enabling you to get all of the answers you need for quicker than ever before. So we're really proud of this, and I think we've had some pretty awesome feedback on our technical support here, and definitely proud of it. So when you've enrolled into our MicroCAD tech support, we've got some productivity tools. This is also pretty exciting. It's a bonus feature to our tech support. Our clients who have it and use it, they love it. These tools are MicroCAD branded plugins for AutoCAD, Revit, and Civil 3D. We're actually sneak peek. We're trying to have one developed for Inventor and a few others, but more to come on that. These tools contain things that you wish that you always had in this software, and it's just been missing all along. So when you have this downloaded, watch as your workflow becomes more productive and your tedious task list becomes less and less. All right, so after that long-winded thing, I'm going to grab a sip of water. I'm going to hand this back over to Ashley Wheeling, and she's been keeping track of some questions that have been coming in. Now is the time to also ask some questions as well, so please feel free to type that into this question section here. And you know what? Ashley, I'm going to hand this off to you.
Great. Thank you, Sheila. Fantastic job. There was a lot of good information covered in your slides, and I'm sure that we have some questions. I see a few here in the questions pane. For everyone, if you do have a question, please feel free to post it in the questions pane of the webinar, and we will try to address that now. Anything that we can't address today, we'll be sure to follow up with you. The first question that I see is, does AutoCAD Mechanical need to be re-downloaded? My understanding is that if it is part of a suite, one of the design and creation suites, then yes, it would need to be re-downloaded if you're transitioning to an AEC collection. But if that AutoCAD Mechanical license is just an individual product, then I think you should be able to convert that over to a subscription without re-downloading. Sheila, I'll give you a chance to chime in on that as well if you have anything to add.
Nope, you hit the nail on the head, Ashley, and you shouldn't have to download it. However, keep in mind about the previous version, right? So you can't use anything less than 2018 right now. So if you're using anything less than 2018, you would need to download a later version.
Okay, great. Let's see here. Another question we have is, we've got a client who has mixed models. So they have some network licenses and some single user licenses. So they need to continue using some user-based and others network licensing. Let's see here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure I understand the question. So I think, Frank, I think you're asking if you'll be able to continue to use the network licensing. You know, as a general rule, you know, the network licensing is going away. Autodesk does understand that there are some cases where clients who are in, you know, a high security environment may have computers that cannot access the internet, and there may be a need to continue to run a network license. And you know, we can make a case to Autodesk, present your business case for that, and they are, you know, making some exceptions for high security environments. Do you have anything to add to that, Sheila?
I do, and and this might actually take care of another question I see in this question panel as well. So there was a question about varying expiration dates. So if a user has, or a company, I should call it, has 3 licenses with this maintenance agreement or subscription, 5 licenses over here, and 3 licenses over there, and they all have different expiration dates. Depending on how close they all are together, we can try to work with Autodesk to um, have them all renewed at once. That is one option. That doesn't apply every single time, so don't get all excited if that doesn't apply to you. We could certainly look into that as an option. So all of your licenses kind of migrate from network licenses to single user license. But Unfortunately, you'd have to kind of go down the list. So if one group of licenses is expiring, that group gets transferred over, and the rest of them remain on the network license until that expiration, the next group of licenses are expiring. And eventually, you'll be 100% moved over from network license to single user. But again, like let's try to work together to try to get everything simplified for your team.
Thank you, Sheila. There's another great question here. Is it possible for a user to download a trial version to a personal computer and use their work logon to use the software? That's a great question. You know, one of the really nice benefits of the Autodesk subscription licensing is that, similar to the previous maintenance licensing, you do have permission for a home use license. So there's no need to download a trial as long as that user, you know, is using the software for work purposes. They can just download the software from their Autodesk account and log in with their credentials that you've provided them with, their Autodesk login credentials, and that would be all that they need to do. Sheila, did you have anything to add to that about home use?
Nope, I think you got it. Yep, yep. Thank you.
See here, I've got several more questions here.
I'll take one of these.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take one of these. I see one here from one of our clients here. He forgot how to get into his Autodesk account. How does he get back in? Well, if so 2 different ways. So one, you can, if you're an end user, you could do it a couple different ways. You can go to manage.autodesk.com, and at the sign-in screen, enter in your email address, and then it'll ask for your password. That's the part you don't know. There is a little thing that says forgot. Hit that button, and you're going to get an email prompted almost instantaneously, and you can reset your license. If you don't get that email, if it says no email address on file, certainly contact our help desk, and we can try to see why that is. There could be several different reasons from there. So that's one way to do it. The next way to do it is through your, if you're not signed into your software, and that's the process that you're trying to achieve here, you can go to the top right hand side of the screen when you have an Autodesk product launched. You can click sign in, enter in your email again, and you'll see a forgot button right next to where you would enter in your password. Again, click that and you'll be prompted to reset your password via email. So that is the end user. Same, very, very similar for the administrator. Again, go to manage.autodesk.com, enter in your email address, and again, you'll see the forgot and recreate your password after you get that email. If your administrative credentials do not work, something is a little off, so definitely contact our help desk. We'll assist you further. Do you have anything to add, Ashley?
Oh, thank you, Sheila. That was great. I do see several other great questions in here. One attendee is asking, will you provide individual help in determining how to proceed? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. That's what we're here for. You can reach out to your account manager or directly to Sheila or to myself, and we will set up a time to walk you through the process. Another question is there a benefit to transition earlier before our current plans expire? And as of right now, that's actually not an option to transition early. I have had a few clients who wanted to go ahead and take that 2-for-1 trade-in offer and transition from the multi-user to the single user licensing early. At this time, clients do need to wait until their renewal time comes up, and then you can take advantage of the offer at that time. If something changes and Autodesk becomes more flexible and allows customers to transition early, we'll certainly let our clients know that that's available. Let's see. Another question here. Can product suites still be silently deployed and pre-configured with plot styles from IT staff like current suites supported? Sheila, I'm going to let you have a stab at that one.
Okay, so the short answer is yes. I think you meant industry collections because product suites are design suites are going away. The deployment of them essentially is not changing. Um, and you can push out custom user interfaces and other updates. So if there's like a hot fix that you know of, you can push that out with the deployment. So not much has changed there. One thing I don't know without looking at it, what software you have specifically. The one thing that is different between a design suite and an industry collection, in the past, you'd have to download the design suite as one bundle. There was an option, if you looked really, really closely, there was an option where you can uncheck some unnecessary software that you just didn't want to use, and you had no reason to have it on any of your users' computer. So it was like a one package bundle. Whereas the industry collection, when you move to that, it's all individual downloads, and you would have to use a third-party deployment software to bundle it up and push it out to your computers. So that is the main difference between the two. And without really looking at this particular question, this asker's software, I think that answers it best. I mean, if you feel like you need to talk with us afterwards, we can certainly take this offline for sure.
Thank you, Sheila. That one was over my head. So I'm glad you answered that. I see another great question here. Is it possible for a user to share their logon info and have a scenario where two users are accessing a single user license simultaneously? The short answer is no. You do not want to have two separate users logged on with the same credentials simultaneously. It is very easy though to reassign users. If you have a situation, with maybe different shifts where you want to assign a specific user at one time of day, then you would go in and unassign them when their shift is done, and then assign that license to a different user for the second shift or something like that. So it's very easy to change the user assignments, but you would not want to have two users signed in at the same time. I guess to make sure I'm answering your question, you're asking, is it possible? It would be, I think it would be possible to do that, but you would be in a compliance violation under that scenario. Do you have anything to add to that, Sheila?
Nope, nope. You've got it. Yeah, definitely. If you have more than one person using the same credentials, definite compliance issue. Think of it as while one person has home use and work use rights to activate products. You really want to try to get away from one seat for multiple people. That's definitely a compliance issue that you want to try to steer clear of.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sheila. The next question, if I have 50 licenses and 200 users, can users check in and check out licenses so others can use it? And this, the asker is referring specifically to the premium plan. With the premium plan, would they be able to do something like that? Sheila, I'm going to let you take the first stab at that. You're more familiar with the single sign-on than I am.
Right, right. So I've looked into this a little bit because the software itself is licensed by like if somebody has an Active Directory, I would imagine most people have an Active Directory that manages their domain users and that sort of thing. Because they are um, because the license will be linked to the Active Directory, I believe, and I will need to verify this, I do believe that if a person is not signed in to their computer, like if they're on vacation for a week or something like that, that frees up one of the licenses. Um, I've seen a configuration where I understand that's how it can work. So in a weird way, it is kind of like a network license, but it works and behaves differently, kind of, sort of. So we can definitely take that offline. And if this description kind of fits your needs, we could certainly, with a premium plan, Autodesk in MicroCAD, we form a team, and so this is not just a small thing that we just do and just say, here you go, and off you run. There are a number of meetings that we organize, and we make sure that things are tested, things are working to your liking, and there's certain custom configurations that we could put in place. So we could definitely talk more about that for sure.
Great, thank you. This next question is a great one. Will a user need to be connected to a company server via VPN to use the named user license since the license files are going away? The good news is no. The named users will simply need to be connected to the internet once every 30 days. All right, next question is about pricing. How does the costing work? This attendee has 2 seats, so 2 network seats, which will turn into 4. So how does the pricing work a year after that? So Autodesk has been pretty transparent about how they're going to handle the pricing, and it kind of depends on which scenario you're in. If you came from M2S, from if you fall under the maintenance to subscription program, which most of our clients do. So under the maintenance to subscription program, clients were, had a guaranteed discounted pricing through 2028. So if you had network licenses and you did the maintenance to subscription program, that price guarantee through 2028 is going to still be honored. So you'll continue to pay, that pricing structure under the maintenance to subscription program through 2028. And we can reach out to you, individually after this webinar to talk more about your specific pricing scenario. But if you were under that maintenance to subscription program and getting that discounted pricing, you will continue to receive that discounted cost structure for the next eight years. Let's see here. We have X number of seats of the AEC collection. How is the new named user's licenses billed per seat or as a pool of seats? It is billed per seat. And let's see here. I think did I get everything, Sheila, that you see?
I'm looking through the list as well. You guys asked a lot of great questions. We want to make sure we have them all. One question was about users working from multiple locations on multiple machines. I think we might have covered this, but I don't think we covered it directly. So if you still have the home use rights and the work rights. So if you have a computer at home, because a lot of people are working from home still. I know MicroCAD, we're slowly getting back into the office. But several of us, are working from the office, working at home. We have two computers, and maybe even some of us have a tablet where we can use some, cloud stuff on it or AutoCAD even. So as long as me as the user has the proper rights to a product, I can sign in to, my devices to use the product. There is a cap. But you can be in multiple locations on multiple machines. This does not mean multiple people can be using one sign-in. So I know we covered that, but I wanted to kind of answer that question directly because that does come up a lot on the help desk. So thank you for asking that question.
Yeah, thank you, Sheila. And to kind of piggyback off of that, I see just another question here. As an admin of the software, in a way, it could feel like you're losing control, of the license usage if users do have the ability to sign in simultaneously, using the same login. The guidance that I would give in this situation is to use the reporting tools, particularly with the premium plan. I know you talked a little bit, Sheila, about the reporting tools that are available, the usage data with the premium plan, but that, in my mind, would be a good place to start to see, what licenses are being used and by whom. Do you want to elaborate any on that, Sheila, as far as what the admin will be able to see as far as usage reporting so they can keep an eye, as far as compliance goes?
Yeah, so they'll see, how, like, say, if I'm the end user and I have the AEC collection, which has, I don't know, 12, 15 different products within this collection, right? So I said in the beginning in my intro that I am AutoCAD and Revit. I know how to use the others, but for the sake of conversation, say I'm an end user using those two. Um, your team wants to figure out if I'm actually using Revit and AutoCAD, or can my seat be downgraded to just one of the AutoCAD licenses, freeing up one of the AEC licenses that I was occupying. In this case, if I was only using, say, AutoCAD, um, I can use the AutoCAD license that that you've subscribed to versus the AEC license, giving that to somebody else. So that is one way you can utilize the usage reporting. You could see um, almost kind of like a calendar graph almost. It's a really nice looking graph. The peaks and valleys on how many hours each day I've actually had the program working and open. So if you see like a long plateau of, time where I'm not using Revit anymore, you know that I'm for sure not using Revit, and you could talk to the user and say, hey, do you even need Revit? And she might say no. So you can move them on. There's a lot of different scenarios. That's the first one that comes to mind. That would be very useful. Um, Also, too, another awesome thing is um, a lot of times there's cloud reporting. If you had a network license before, it was unfortunately, and it was not my favorite thing, um, there was no real way to see who was consuming how many cloud credits. Now, with the named user in this usage reporting, you can see, even with just the basic usage reporting, you'll be able to see a little bit more with the premium. You'll be able to see who's using how many cloud credits in which product. So that is super helpful because this stuff isn't cheap. You want to see where your money is going. So before, because you didn't have named users, you couldn't really see it. You could just see it as a whole entire company. Now you could see it individual people and individual products.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Sheila. The last question I see, and I know we're at 2:02, so this will probably be the last question that we take, and then anything else, we'll be happy to follow up with you individually after the webinar. I see a question, is the per seat price available? Yes, the per seat price is available, but just to be sure I'm being clear here. So for example, if you have one seat of a product, and I'm just going to make up a price here. Let's say that one network seat is $1,000. Then your two single user seats would be priced at $500 per seat. And for every one network seat that you have, you're going to be offered the two single user seats. And they're basically going to be each priced at half the price of that network license, if that makes sense. But we can work with you individually. There are a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different pricing structures depending on your license history. So we can talk more with you individually, but that pricing is available. So we can work with you to kind of give you an idea of what you're looking at. All right, I don't see any other questions at this time. Sheila, do you see anything else?
I think we've got everything covered. But again, let me try to see if I can scroll up to the. Sorry if I'm making you guys dizzy right now. I'll scroll back up to this introduction. So if you are thinking later on, while you're grabbing a late lunch or something, oh, I meant to ask this question, or I really could use some additional guidance. Never hesitate to reach out. This is going to be, even though I'm calling it easy. Change is hard. Nobody loves change. So we're here to make your life easier and answer any further questions you have. Even if it's something that was already covered, there's no stupid question, no judgment zone here. So definitely get in contact with us if you need further assistance. Happy to help you. And all right, well, I think that is all for today. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know it took a little bit more than an hour, so thank you so much. I hope it proved valuable to you and your team. Have an awesome week, and I look forward to chatting with you on the help desk. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Sheila. Bye, everyone.